Hey Ashley podcast, where we discuss finding our why, sharing our joy, and what makes us smile. I'm your host, Ashley, and I'm joined by my today host, Whitney.
Hi.
Whitney, tell the people who you are, darling.
My name is Whitney Glover. I am an attorney. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I'm a sister, a friend, a cousin, auntie.
Come on,
all
rich
that
aunt.
good stuff.
The rich aunt.
Working on it.
You look rich.
Thank you.
Expensive. That's my new thing. Expensive, honey. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us what made you want to be an attorney?
Oh gosh. I think it started early. I grew up watching The Cosby Show. So Claire Huxtable was probably the first Black woman attorney that I saw. And it was relatable. I saw myself in her. She reminded me of the women that I had around me. Flash forward, there were also shows like Girlfriends and Living Single and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, where we saw Black attorneys depicted. Now we have a whole lot of, representation in television. But I think that was where it started. Of course, I was the kid that got in trouble for talking a lot. In class, no matter where I got moved, I was going to talk to whoever I was sitting by. They were going to be my best friend because we were in class for that day.
Yeah.
And I think it was solidified when I went to undergrad and I was in a car accident and I was 18 and didn't know what to do. My mom couldn't speak for me. And ultimately, I missed an opportunity to get justice for the car accident. And I said, I'm going to become an attorney because I don't want this to ever happen to anybody's 18-year-old child.
Yeah.
And flash forward 10 years later, I finished undergrad and finally went to law school starting in 2017.
Yeah.
So here I am now.
Yes.
Fully Esquire.
Come on, fully Esquire. Just got to give the people a little. So when we met, you weren't using Esquire.
No, I wasn't.
Why?
I was resistant. I thought it was very pretentious. Even before I went to law school, I thought of lawyers as being a little pretentious, a little elitist.
But you wanted to be a lawyer.
Right. But the pomp and circumstance around being a lawyer wasn't what I was looking for.
Okay.
I wanted to be a lawyer because of the advocacy.
Yeah.
And all the pomp and circumstances secondary. Of course, we love the nice dinners. We love, the fun outings, rubbing shoulders with, those higher on the food chain, so to speak.
Yeah.
But for me, it represented distinguishing myself from my community. And I didn't want to detach myself from my community. I felt like in adding that Esquire, I was saying different tax bracket, different from you, or just saying that I was owed a certain amount of respect, which now I do feel that I am owed that respect at this point. So yes, put the Esquire on it.
Yeah. Do you feel like there's still a detachment from your community?
No, I don't feel that. And I just feel that because of who I am, and my family, my friends, I'm grounded and I'm not at risk of detaching myself from the community that made me, so to speak.
What makes you feel grounded? Like, how do you stay so grounded? Because it is easy as you keep climbing that corporate ladder. That tax bracket changed a little bit.
Yeah, I think, like I said, it's the people I have around me. I have a teenage daughter. She humbles me every day because she doesn't care that her mom is a lawyer
at all,
and she wouldn't care if I was a billionaire. Yeah. It's still, she's very unimpressed, and it's going to take more than me saying, call me Esquire for her to be impressed. And also my family, when I'm at home, I'm Janae. I'm not Whitney.
Yeah.
So Whitney is who I am at work, who I am professionally. And Janae is the girl from Del Paso Heights, Sacramento, California. Yeah. So I think that's what keeps me grounded.
Do you feel like you were purposed to be an attorney? Or do you feel like you were purposed for something different? or something more, maybe?
I think my purpose is to accomplish all things that I can while I'm here that I'm blessed with the talents to be able to accomplish. I don't think that's limited to lawyering, so to speak. Um, do I have a special talent for lawyering?
Yeah.
Absolutely, because I think there are a lot of people who maybe would be good attorneys, but it takes a certain amount of grit to get there. And I didn't go to law school until I was 31 and fully grown, fully experienced in, the professional world, managing a household, but that grind to get, to the end of that degree is a lot.
Yeah.
Is a lot. And it was a lot of discipline. It was a lot of sacrifice. So, it's not just about being able to talk. A lot of people say, oh, you argue, you should be a lawyer. No, it's not about that.
Yeah.
Because I think there are a lot of soft skills that come along with being a lawyer, because generally, and I didn't realize this until after I graduated from law school, people don't trust attorneys. Did you know that?
Lyoya. Have you not watched Medea?
All
y'all do is lie.
I missed that part. But it wasn't until my aunt told me, people don't really trust attorneys. Mm-hmm. And fortunately, as an attorney, that hasn't been my experience, because I think just like people can tell when you're genuine just in regular life, even as an attorney, my clients know that I'm there to advocate for them, and I'm not going to compromise my own integrity. And I'm not going to compromise their integrity. And I think as an attorney, I've learned that sometimes people have to be able to craft their own destiny, so to speak. And while I am a subject matter expert, it's my job to get the outcome you're looking for.
For sure. So we talked about a little bit about obedience and discipline, which I love. Discipline is my favorite thing. I think we all need it. Mm-hmm. And on the podcast, I share with the listeners my definition of obedience is transparent transitions leads to transformation.
Okay.
So in this season of life, what transition has helped you find joy?
Oh, in this season of life, what transition has... I would say the transition from praying for the things I have and being present in those things. Ooh. And realizing that I'm currently in all of my prayers.
Yes. Oh, okay.
And that in and of itself is transformational, because it's almost as if a certain burden. No, don't get me to crying.
Look,
here.
Okay, we all about to be in here crying.
I have to take a...
I'm gonna get you some tissue. No, you keep talking. I'm gonna get tissue.
So I definitely believe that, it's twofold, because while you may pray for certain things, if you don't also then pray for the sense of discernment to be able to handle those blessings, it can be a hard road. I have a lot of classmates that are no longer practicing law. I graduated law school in 2020.
And we
ultimately lost a year because of COVID. Yeah. So, there are a lot of people who have said, no, this is not for me, whether it's the time commitment or just the nature of the beast, the politics, the red tape, the bureaucracy, things like that. Having to go to networking events is a lot for some attorneys. But for me, I was really focused on, okay, I prayed for this, so I'm going to stand in it. Stand 10 toes down.
Come on.
And just let the world have it.
Your job seems very serious.
Yeah.
So when do you find time to just smile? Like, what makes you just smile?
I smile a lot. I actually think as a litigator, I'm probably one of the most friendly litigators you meet. I think litigators typically have a persona. In Clueless, she says, my dad's a litigator, and that's the scariest type of attorney. But I smile.
Yeah.
And people are often off-put by that because it's very adversarial. Because I'm dealing with, the stages after a lawsuit has been filed, or we're clearly going down that path.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to find happiness in small things, because for me, if I'm walking through the office and I see somebody with a bright color on, that makes me happy.
Yeah.
Or someone even just taking the time to have a conversation beyond, hey, how's it going, and walking past.
For sure.
And outside of that, I think just taking time to do things that fill me up and kind of satisfy the little girl within. So
what does the little girl within want?
Oh, that's dancing. That is painting. That is,
come on, Picasso,
eating what I want to eat, or eating red velvet cupcakes in the middle of the night.
That's
Yes, absolutely. So I think that is key, and I think oftentimes we forget as adults that there's still a part of us that hasn't been fully fulfilled, because as children we don't know how to do that.
Right.
We don't necessarily have an understanding of that. But as we become adults and have our own children, I think so much of me healing my inner child has been through raising my own child.
Yeah.
So I think that's how I keep a smile. I just find joy in the little things, because it's so easy to get wrapped up in this thing called life that we do not just stop and smell the flowers.
Yeah.
Or stop and admire the clouds, or marvel at the rose growing from concrete.
Yeah.
Shout out Tupac, West Coast.
we do love Tupac. So I do want to take you back just a little bit. You talked about the little girl within you and what makes her happy. Do you have a fondest childhood memory?
Fondest childhood memory?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Because you're a West Sider. West Coast,
West Side of Cincinnati, absolutely.
West side. You're a true West Sider on the West Side too.
Fondest memory as a child. Gosh, I can't necessarily think of one, but I do remember my mom took me to a lot of concerts as a kid, and still have that love for live music today. I wish I could sing or play an instrument or something, but I think that really helped inform who I am just through music. And being 5 years old at a Keith Sweat concert, you learn a lot about the world, Mama.
I don't think you were supposed to be at that.
But I was, and I got dressed up, and my mom always treated me like a person. I'm not going to say an adult, but she didn't treat me like a child, so to speak. So a lot of experiences that maybe you don't get until you're a teenager or in college, I had those very early.
Yeah.
And I think that those memories are probably the fondest.
Yeah.
To me, I honestly can't think of just one moment where I'm like, that was it. I had a very great childhood. I had great family, my grandparents, my parents made good memories with me. Yeah. So I can't pinpoint.
What's the best concert you ever been to?
Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. Toss up. Recently, I did go to the On the Run tour, Jay-Z and Beyonce, On the Run 2.
Yeah, I did that one.
And I've probably seen Jay-Z in concert more times than I've seen Beyonce, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And to see them come together, knowing their individual shows, and see them make that, like, marry it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
No pun intended. And create a new show, and I'm hearing this music that I'm familiar with, but it's new. Like, he reimagined Song Cry and had me crying. Clearly I cry for no reason. But that was a great concert. Sade was also life changing. I think I questioned the meaning of life. She showed me the meaning of life. And I had never seen so many people of seemingly very different backgrounds, people you would never have in a room together otherwise.
Yeah.
On their feet.
Yeah.
For Sade, who has been around since I was a baby
aged.
And has not aged and continues to make great music and inspire people. So I think that was probably the best concert, hands down, that I've been to.
I love it. What's on your I need to get ready playlist?
Ooh, I need to get ready. Ooh, it's gonna be a mixture.
And not work. I need to get ready to go out. Like, I need to get ready to go have some fun, blow off some steam, hang with the girls. Like, what's on that playlist?
So the other night when we went out on Saturday, I was listening to disc 1 of All Eyes on Me, Tupac.
I love it.
And afterwards, I listened to Beyonce and a little Sugar Free on the way home. So it has to get something with a little bop to it. Beyonce is always going to do the job. But I might need something a little bit grimier. You know, I really like Finesse 2 Times. Yes, what is happening? Young Dolph. You know, my music taste is very eclectic.
Yes.
So, but getting out, it has to be something that's gonna, you know, amplify the mood, take me up a couple levels, get me dancing in my car, even if I'm not going to be dancing at the event.
Yeah.
I just have to have, you know, that little,
yeah.
Okay, we ready. We ready to turn up. We're going to give them a show, and I'm going to play a soundtrack in my head. So I'm walking, and people say I walk with a purpose, but it's because I'm hearing my soundtrack in my head.
Absolutely.
And that's just how I get hyped for the event.
What song do you know all the words to?
What song don't I know all the words?
No, facts.
To?
But like, what song gets you? Like, I know all the words. Give us a Tupac. I know all the words to this song.
Oh, I can give you All Eyes on Me, this 1, this 2.
All of
start
them?
To finish.
All of them?
Start to finish.
I love the Lord, but I love him
start
up
to
too.
Finish. I can give you the Machiavelli album. Ooh. Start to finish.
Quality album.
Absolutely. And I also love like old school music. So I could give you word for word Rapper's Delight, Sugar Hill Gang.
Come on now.
So
we're gonna do a concert. We're gonna get Janae
karaoke
to
queen.
Give us a concert, honey.
Hey, but you know my karaoke song is Kaya, My Neck, My Back. So that's
you've heard it here.
Heard it first.
We're absolutely going to have that. We're gonna figure out how to make this work. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap this all in. My tagline of this show is: if you see someone without a smile, give them one of yours.
Okay.
When was the last time someone made you smile or gave you a smile? And when was the last time you gave someone a smile?
I got an email this morning from a woman that I met on Friday at a women's centered event. And we met before the event during the cocktail hour. She was at a table and I went and sat with her and we just started talking, and she sent me an email and she said, "You seem to be doing so much good work and I want to help you however I can in the work that you're doing." I'm like, girl, what work am I doing? Like, I don't even know what work I'm doing. And that made me feel so good.
Yeah.
And she was older. Definitely probably around my mom's age. So I think so often that there's kind of a generational gap.
Yeah.
And we're not always seen as millennials by the older generations.
Right.
They don't get it.
Yeah.
But she got it.
Yeah.
And she was just as excited to meet me as I was to sit and talk to her. So that gave me a smile today. And you make me smile, boo. So, yeah. And did you ask me when I gave someone?
When you gave someone a smile. You probably gave that woman a smile that just emailed you. Was she sitting by herself? You always sit with somebody sitting by themselves.
She was actually there with one of her friends, and it was very funny because they have been friends since they were teenagers and hadn't been out since COVID, and that was their first outing, and they were so excited to, one, be together, and two, just be out and dressed nice and eating good food and enjoying the drinks and the program. So I was definitely inspired, and honestly, I walked over because they were dressed.
Yes.
So I said, I'm going to sit with them.
Yeah.
And you know, if I hope I made her smile. I'm not too sure. But I know I made a few people smile today at the fashion show.
Girl, come on with the walk.
Yes.
Walk.
Yes, yes. We both gave some smiles, some thighs.
A little thigh.
You know?
A little thigh. I love it. Can you let the people know where they can find you? If you want to be found.
Oh my goodness. The Instagram is private, but you can try your luck. And that is rebellious.melanoid on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm also on LinkedIn, Whitney Glover, and Facebook as Whitney Glover as well.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me
and
letting me cry.
I'm always here for tears.
She is.
I love you. That is our show. If you have any joy stories that you want to share, please send them my way. I tell people all the time, I believe God put me here to be a gardener. So we either plant seeds, we're going to water them, God gets the increase. Amen. So whatever you have to share, you send them my way. We will read them on the podcast. I love you. I love you.
I love you. And I love y'all too.
And I will see you next week.